What's up, everybody? It is me, Sean Tank Top. I am over here at Casa de Tank Top. I am riding solo over here. I do not have the Draces or Scott or anyone. I am the last son of Watchers in the Bar over here. But we wanted to get on here and we wanted to rock this reaction because we had a new trailer drop. Everybody was a little sad we didn't get the last Superman trailer up because they dropped one. I think it's to promote the fact that they're selling tickets now for Superman, which is coming out on July 11th. So I'm going to take a look at it. Again, very excited. I think that they're probably just going to kind of keep showcasing very, very big cast, very kind of, you know, it's the Superman's kind of like the straight man amongst a bunch of wild, crazy, cosmic shit. So let's take a look at the trailer and then we'll talk about it afterwards.
Superman.
Ooh, the brass. Oh, man.
The most powerful being on planet Earth.
Is this Luthor? I think this is Luthor.
We finally meet. Now, as planned, I'll destroy you. And of course, that reporter you always do interviews with.
He's interviewing her for sure.
You as a child.
Oh.
I'll kill them too.
Oh my god. Man, Luthor's gonna be a hateful son of a bitch in this one. I can feel it. Ooh, they're doing the old school Christopher Reeve stuff. Okay.
No matter what you do to me, Luthor, your plans won't work.
Wrap it up.
Good luck with that.
Oh shit. Okay.
Make him look big blue.
Guys just being a complete horse's ass, of course. Hell yeah, Mr. Terrific. Okay. This is wild.
They chose him. Let them die.
Let them die.
Quit messing around.
I'm not messing around. I'm doing important stuff.
Oh shit. Woo! Okay.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
And that's where the eyes up here. Okay. Hell yeah. Okay. Everything that we have seen thus far, again, they've always been they've been playing it like a little more conservative and close to chest, obviously, because you have a bunch of like special effects that need to be finished that hasn't been done, blah blah blah, like all that other kind of stuff. And they're trying to get us, you know, kind of acclimated, I think, to the like where this movie's gonna go, the crazy places that it wants to explore with this character and in the world that this character inhabits. Yeah, there's like gonna be a lot of stuff happening here. I think I was talking with Scott, you know, aka Captain America, aka Squirty Malorty. Like, where it's like, man, digging the vibe of this trailer. Much more colorful, much more hopeful, much more Superman. I know that that's been kind of a contentious point amongst people that have apparently never fucking read a comic in their entire lives. But this is Grant Morrison All-Star Superman. This is that type of a story. Obviously, it's going to be kind of James Gunnified. It's going to be real fun. There's going to be probably some quippy stuff. I do hope and pray that Gunn can. And I think that he's learned how to do this. This is another thing that we were talking about, where we were saying, for every kind of like reservation that I have when I see some of this shit, when I see like how kind of crazy and kooky and how many characters they're gonna be that are in this story, blah blah blah, all this kind of stuff. It's two things. It's either things that are reading very positively, right off the fucking bat, or the concerns that I have been, they have absolutely 1000% already been kind of, James Gunn has already made those hurdles in previous films that he's made that he's been successful at. Like, as far as like the amount of kind of like, you're a little concerned about the amount of kind of obscure, much more obscure characters in this movie and how many of them are. This guy did Guardians of the Galaxy before. Like, this guy handled like a bunch of characters that not a lot of people ever like knew about, gave a shit about, and those that did never in a trillion years thought that they would make a movie out of it, right? And I think that in certain ways, that's sort of what kind of tailors this specific flavor of Superman. He's tailored it to himself. He's gone into the lore. I mean, it was what was so great and refreshing about like the Suicide Squad movie that he made, where it was just very fucking comic literate. Like he is about that life. He fucks with the like all of the material, you know what I mean? Like, and grabs deep cuts from way the fuck back in like the 50s and 60s, goes back to the golden era, goes back to the silver age, like all that stuff, to grab some stuff where and when he needs it, because he really is about that life. And that's what's been cool to kind of see it here. Big Lex Luthor scumbag. We've never quite seen the level of piss and vinegar because it's the most dialogue that we've gotten from him as Lex in this, from Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor in here. And I mean, shit, like he's a hateful motherfucker, dude. Like, I mean, like, and this is a filmmaker that like has done one of the most hateful fucking villains of the last like 10 years in comic book films, like, or maybe even longer than that, with in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. But like, I mean, I ugly fucking cried in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. A fucking weird ass, a really weird, unruly, wild movie that, kind of for all intents and purposes, like, came close to never being made, and in another world it probably wouldn't have been. And yeah, I mean, I think that he's made these jumps before, and so I think that anytime that I'm kind of going like, ooh, wow, that's kind of wild, this is going to be a lot. Like, because that's another thing. It's like, I grew up on the Christopher Reeves stuff as a kid, because I'm old. Even though I don't think that those movies are particularly comic literate either, but I do think that one saving grace that you can give those movies is the cast was fantastic. Dick Donner was a great director. The score was incredible and iconic, and I'm glad to see it back. But then also, I do think that even though like they weren't very steeped in like the like the, what would you call it, like the comic lore, I do think that they did nail the essence of the characters. And I think that that's kind of what happens. I think as long as you can kind of do that, I think that that's what will make your comic book adaptation like successful or not successful. It's part of the reason why I struggled with the Snyder stuff as much as I struggled with it. It seems like we were just kind of hammering squares into circles a lot of the time to fit the vision, the very clear tone that Snyder was trying to do there. But I just didn't think it was a good fit for about half of those characters. I just didn't think it worked in particular. But this is wild. There's shitloads of these robots. I don't know if they're Lex bots or something like that. I'm sure I'll get roasted in the comments for not knowing that. But I did like how much that they highlighted Lex in this. It's the clearest kind of keyhole we've gotten into is to what they're going to be doing with Nicholas Hoult. And maybe there's like a defense contractor thing. That could be the biggest thing that sort of maybe kind of brings his ire onto Superman, and maybe an inciting incident is Superman coming in, like saving what is looking like a war-torn country with the little kid holding up the flag, which really goes, oh, like, I really love that, like how they're and they're centering it on like this one child's belief that they can be saved by this hero and shit. And so I think that, and I think that he's like, oh, they declared for Superman, let him die. That's fucking incredible. That is incredible. That is a tech billionaire par excellence. I mean, like, that is what a fucking piece of shit motherfucker like that would say. They might even be elected into office, who knows, or be in a cabinet of some sorts or whatever. It's looking good. It's looking fun. It's looking kooky and crazy. And the fact that Superman is like of a team, and I mean, and that's the other thing about it, is that, like, I think that was the other thing that I really struggled with Superman in the Snyderverse, and kind of all of that iteration, was like how kind of it was such a solo, like he was so alone and lonely in his purpose. It was such a singular, like, burden, like, for him to experience, I think. And Superman has always been about community. He's always been about, like, team building. He's always been about that shit, because that's where he grew up, was Smallville. It wasn't just Ma and Pa Kent. It was Smallville as well, who made him who he was, taught him the value of community, taught him the value about caring for other people, and being there for other people. And I think that, and it makes complete sense that he would want to surround himself with, like, a team, that he would want a Mr. Fantastic, that he would want a Guy Gardner, no matter how big of a dick that guy is. And Guy Gardner is I cannot wait for the venom that Nathan Fillion's going to be spitting with this shit. He's going to be really, really fun, I think. And he'll be, I think, for as much as, and again, that's another thing with people just, like, bitch moaning, complaining about his haircut. And it's just like, have you read a comic? The dude's had fucked hair, from the jump. So, and again, like, you're getting a little bit more of the classic John Williams brass, which I was happy with. As much as I enjoyed the rock and marrow, like, guitar, I'm glad that they brought in some true blue, like, brass type stuff. I do think that theme is strong enough that could just fucking be Superman's music, in the same way that, like, James Bond has a theme and it kind of doesn't change. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. And yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I just, like, it looks alive. It looks cracking. It's definitely something that you can kind of tell. It's kind of leaping off the screen, that, like, that everybody's kind of really trying to give it their all and trying to make this like they're like, okay, we're bringing back Superman. We're doing a new version of Superman. We gotta make it so we gotta kind of set ourselves apart, and we really want to make it the best that we can be. Not that people haven't tried before, because I always think that pretty much every time you bring that to the big screen, you bring this character to the big screen, like arguably the most iconic fucking superhero of all time, like, everybody's trying their ass off, and I think that's happened with every iteration, even if I haven't dug it. And so, yeah, I mean, like, it looks fun, it looks great, it looks kooky, it looks wild, very Grant Morrison, very all-star Superman, and I'm ready for it. And I think that other people are ready for it. They're ready for, like, just like a nice guy, just a nice fella. We could take a little niceness, I think, these days and shit like that, like an alien immigrant versus a tech billionaire. I can fuck with that storyline easily. I think it'd be a good time. James Gunn has not really missed in the films that he's directed. He's produced, like, a stinker or two, but, like, I don't know. He has yet to disappoint me outright with a movie, and for the most part, like, has impressed me every time. So I'm excited. We're gonna figure out a way to cover this shit. I think also we're gonna be doing a Manly Movie Monday, the original 1979 Christopher Reeves version, of which Scott and Alex have not seen, and so I'm excited to kind of jump back into this, jump back into the positive kind of vision of it and everything. And so if you guys were going to be covering all that stuff, keep it here. Hit us with the like, subscribe, ring the bell thingy, because it shit always helps and never fucking hurts. Appreciate y'all for hanging out with us. We'll check y'all later.